Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my November wrap up. So I read a total of 9 books in November. One of them was a physical copy and the rest were ebooks. I honestly did not have the greatest reading month in November. I didn't read a lot and also a lot of it was like 3 stars. So it wasn't the greatest month. Also, I'm going to go through all of these books really fast. I'm kind of in a hurry and I don't really have time to film this video, so I'm sorry in advance that this wrap up won't be as detailed as my other ones, but I really don't have time to film this, so I'm just going to jump straight in. The first book I read in November was The Truest Thing by Samantha Young. This is the 4th book in the Hearts Boardwalk series, and this I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I still think book 2 is my favorite, and then the 4th book, and then the 3rd book, and then the 1st book. And this is small town, second chance romance, sort of, very angsty, very emotional. I liked the characters, I just didn't fully feel their connection or like how into each other they were. I did enjoy it, obviously I gave it 4 stars, but there was something a little off for me. Maybe I just wasn't really fully into it, I'm not sure. But definitely another great romance from Samantha Young. The next book I read was Steel by Sawyer Bennett. This is the 9th book in the Arizona Vengeance series. I received an arc of this from Sawyer Bennett and her team, so thank you so much for this arc. I really enjoyed this book. This I gave 4 out of 5 stars. This is out December 8th. This is a second chance hockey romance. It follows a married couple who are in the process of getting a divorce, but the male character is fighting for a female character. I really enjoyed both characters and their romance, and I really love this series. I love all the characters and the whole world that Sawyer Bennett has built. So this was another fantastic hockey romance. Then I read Kingpin's Foxglove by Bree Porter. This is a dark mafia romance. It follows our female character who makes a deal with this mafia family to help heal one of their family members. I gave this 3.5 stars. It's really interesting. I did feel like the female character was kind of similar to Bree's other female character. I'm definitely going to read the 2nd book because this one does end on a cliffhanger, and I do enjoy Bree's stories and her writing. I think it's just her characters are a little too similar, but storyline wise this one was pretty different. I also did really enjoy the whole poison aspect and how smart Elena was, when it comes to mixing chemicals and products and stuff. She was really smart, and that was an interesting aspect of this book. I did enjoy it, and I can't wait for the 2nd book in January. The next book and the only physical copy I read in November was Ties That Tether by Jane Igharo. This I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. I wish this book was a little bit longer. I feel like I would have given it 4 stars if it was maybe 100 pages longer. I just feel like you couldn't really, not connect, but you just couldn't really hold on to the characters, if that makes sense. I just feel like it was so fast paced that you couldn't really sit with the characters and enjoy them, if that makes sense. So this follows our 2 characters who end up having a one-night stand, but somehow they end up at the same job together. It had one of my favorite tropes, which I liked and I thought was really well done. I enjoyed the characters themselves and their romance. I also really enjoyed learning about, I'm totally gonna butcher her name, Aziri? I loved learning about her and her family. Overall, I liked the book. I just wish it was longer. Still really solid romance, and I'm definitely going to pick up any of this author's future romances. The next book that I read was Noble Prince by Devney Perry. This is the 4th book in the Tin Gypsy series, and this one I gave 3 out of 5 stars. This is a small town romance, and there's kind of a huge mystery element. It does follow a little bit of a motorcycle club and stuff, and a lot of crime. It is very interesting. I do love the worlds that Devney Perry has created with this series. This follows our male character who is the chief of police in this town, and he basically has to protect our female character because she got mixed up in some shit with this motorcycle club. I just didn't feel like I was super captivated with the characters and the romance. It's weird because I love this world and I love the setting and the whole vibe, because it is pretty different for Devney Perry. Like, there is a pretty significant darker mystery element to it, but at the same time I just don't feel like the characters stand out for me. I'm hoping book 5 I love, because from the end of this one it does sound like I'm gonna love book 5, so fingers crossed I do. But sadly I didn't love this one as much as the first two. Then I read Little Lies by H. Hunting. This is a spin-off of Helena Hunting's Pucked series and All In series. It's about like two of the kids that fall in love. This one is very angsty, very new adult-ish, definitely a lot different from what Helena Hunting usually writes, and I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. This follows Lavender Waters and Kodiak Bauman. I don't know, it's been a really long time since I've read like college romances, and it just, I don't know, it just felt very nostalgic for some reason, and I loved learning about the kids from those series that I really love. It's just about Lavender and Cody, who both had kind of a traumatic thing happen to them in their childhood, and they both depended on each other a lot, and then something happened that kind of forced them to separate. It's about them finally dealing with those issues and telling the truth finally, and I guess falling in love. I don't know. I feel like this book you kind of have to go into it not knowing much. It's college, new adults, very angsty, very dramatic, and it deals with some pretty intense mental health related topics. There was just something about it that I really enjoyed, and it felt very nostalgic, so I loved it, and I hope that Helena Hunting continues to write books about all the kids. Then I read Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow. This is book 2 in the Bellamy Creek series, and this I gave 4 out of 5 stars. This follows a teacher and a single dad who lives next door, and it's also like a brother's best friend romance. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really sweet and cute and heartfelt. It was just a really, really sweet romance, and it made me really happy. I did tear up a few times. And yeah, I'm really loving Melanie Harlow's books lately, so I cannot wait for the next one in the series. And then the last 2 books are part of a series. That is the Eagle Elite series by Rachel Van Dyken. I read the first book, which is Elite, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And this is a new adult college romance, and it's also kind of a dark mafia romance a little bit. It's more like crime, suspense, I guess. This book came out like years ago, like back in 2013, and I knew it was popular then, but I know that this author has released like a spin-off series recently, and I really want to read that one because I've heard amazing things, and I just feel like I kind of have to start at the beginning. So I started with these 2. They were all right. Like, I understand why people love them. I just feel like they are so 2013. This follows our female character who goes to this new college, and basically all of the kids at this college kind of bully her. There is a lot of crime and suspicious things going on, and the female character eventually realizes she's wrapped up in something a lot bigger. Then I read the second book, which is Elect, and I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I really did not enjoy this one, I think because I don't like the kind of main character, Chase. I really don't like him. It was just a weird ass book. Like, what was the point of this book? Like, it was kind of a love triangle, but also not really. This book, in my opinion, was just so pointless and all over the place. Really did not like it, and honestly, I do plan on continuing the series, but I'm going to skip Chase's book because I really don't like him. And also, why did Tracy not have any like POV in this book? Like, that's also what annoyed me, is like she was the main character in the first book, and then her story continues, but she doesn't get a POV, and we just see a POV from the 2 dudes. I'm just like, I don't really care. I'm going to understand that these books were released back in 2013, so I get it. But I am interested in continuing this series eventually and then reading the spin-off. But as of right now, it's just decent. So those were all 9 books that I read in November. Again, I want to apologize that this wrap-up is probably really short, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways. Let me know how many books you read in November. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!